Welcome to Age Fit MD with Dr. Zars, a no-nonsense Age with Power podcast. Flip your chronic injury script with Dr. Z.
Welcome to the Age Fit MD podcast. I'm Dr. Z. I'm your host. And if you're interested in the most efficient, quickest way to increase your cardiovascular potential as you age, take a listen to this episode and I'm going to teach you how to do it. So in our previous episode, I believe the second episode of our podcast, we talked about the importance of pushing your body beyond its comfort zone. And we covered a couple areas regarding strength training. And today I want to highlight for you why it's so important for you to do that for your cardiovascular health. And I'm going to just tell you straight up, I don't like doing cardio. I find it boring. I basically would rather do just about anything else. And so I'm always looking for a way to have the most efficient workout I can to get the biggest result of my cardio workout without boring myself to death. And what I've found is by far the most useful technique is something called high intensity interval training, or HIIT for short. And let me explain to you why this is so valuable. One of the key aspects of getting improvement in your cardiovascular health is that you have to push yourself beyond your comfort zone. And specifically regarding cardiovascular health, you have to push yourself to what's called the anaerobic threshold. And what that is that's the threshold at which you are pushing your body beyond your heart and lung capability and you start to go into anaerobic metabolism. In other words, you're no longer using oxygen, you're using something called lactic acid. That's when you're feeling the burn, you're feeling your body is not keeping up, you're getting maybe some cramping. That's an indication that you're in the anaerobic threshold. Your body has to see that you are going into that threshold in order for it to send out the stimulation that it needs to grow new blood vessels, to increase the contractility of your heart, to increase the perfusion of your body, so that in the future you can meet those needs. I have a lot of patients that like to tell me that they like to walk, they like to garden. Now, while I love doing those things myself, it's critically important that you engage in something that pushes you beyond that comfort zone to where you're getting anaerobic. So let me explain how HIIT training works. What you're going to do is you can get a trainer at any sports store, or there's tons of apps online that basically sets up a timer in an interval fashion. So what I like to tell my patients to start is set this interval timer for 20 minutes total, and each minute you're going to do 30 seconds as hard as you can and 30 seconds at a lighter pace. And I've got some joint issues, so I like using an elliptical, or I also like doing this on a bike, or I do it when I'm swimming. So even if you have chronic injuries, even if you have joint issues, you can easily do this. So what we'll do is we'll start off on the treadmill and we'll hit that interval timer, and it sets off a ding for you. So for the first 30 seconds, I'll go at a moderate pace, and then as soon as that second alarm goes off at the 30 seconds, you push yourself as hard as you can for those 30 seconds. When the timer rings again, you go back to a lighter pace, and then when it gets to the next 30 seconds, you push it as hard as you can. I also strongly encourage you to get a heart rate monitor, and what that's going to do is it's going to keep you honest, because a lot of times you think you're pushing yourself, but when you look at that heart rate monitor, you're really not pushing yourself the way you think you are. So the second phase of this is with a heart rate monitor. The way you want to calculate where you should be is you take the number 220 and you minus it by your age, and that's going to be your max heart rate. And then you want to get to 80 to 90% of that number each time you're in the high intensity interval zone. So that's a great way to monitor your progress and to make sure that you're working as hard as you should be working. So let's talk about this again. Really easy. We're going to do 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. We're going to do it for at least 20 minutes. And like I say, you gotta really get into it, and you really gotta push yourself where you're gasping and you're feeling your body is straining, because that's exactly the kind of stimulus that's going to make you be able to go farther. It's going to make your heart stronger. It's going to make your lungs stronger. It's going to improve your muscular strength and endurance. And over time, as we age, all those processes tend to slow down and tend to degrade. And the more you can jump out in front of it, the better you're going to be in the long run. And I'm telling you, my patients that as they age, when they engage in intense cardio exercise, even if it's just 20 minutes at a time, they are so much healthier in the long run than those that don't, that you'd really be shocked. So we're going to get into more details of how we're going to incorporate this into your Aging Fit, but you want to do this at least 3 days a week. And you've got to be honest and you got to push yourself, but all you've got to do is 20 minutes. And who doesn't have 20 minutes of time to do this? So I hope you found this useful. If you find this podcast helpful, or for those that you care about, you might want to turn them on to it. We'd love to educate those patients and help them stay fit over time. And our next episode is going to be centered around fall prevention, and I'm going to also be interviewing one of the leaders in fall prevention in my state that has a Fit and Fall program that I think you'll find very useful. So I'm Dr. Z. Thanks for listening. Look forward to our next episode, helping you age fit and be as healthy as you possibly can.
For more information about AgeFit MD, ImmuneX2, or Dr. Z's training, please visit drzars.com for a full line of supplements and educational tools to help you age with power.